What if I told you the difference between a life that feels out of control and a life that commands respect is not talent, not luck, but a few silent decisions you make before the world even wakes up? There is something powerful about people who lead their own lives, not because they have more time, but because they respect the time they have. A CEO does not wait for the day to happen to them. They design it, shape it, and command it. And the truth is, you don't need a title, a company, or a corner office to think like one. You only need clarity, discipline, and the courage to take ownership of your hours. Because the moment you stop drifting and start directing, your life begins to respond differently. Chaos starts turning into structure. Confusion starts turning into decisions. And slowly, silently, you step into control not of everything around you, but of everything within you. Start your day with intent, not reaction. There is a quiet battle that begins the moment your eyes open, a battle between intention and distraction, between control and surrender. And most people lose it within seconds without even realizing it because they reach for their phones. They allow notifications to dictate their emotions. They let other people's priorities invade their mind before they have even had a chance to meet themselves. And in that moment, the day is no longer theirs. It belongs to the noise, to the urgency of others, to a world that never asked for permission to take control. But a leader, someone who chooses to rise above the chaos, understands that the first moments of the day are sacred. They're not meant to be given away so easily. They are meant to be protected, shaped, and directed with awareness. Because how you begin your day is not just a routine. It is a declaration of who is in charge of your life. And when you choose silence over noise, clarity over confusion, intention over reaction, you are telling the world that you will not be pulled. You will decide where you go. Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, even if your mind craves distraction, even if the silence feels unfamiliar, you must sit with yourself. You must ask yourself what truly matters today, not what feels urgent, not what feels easy, but what actually deserves your energy. Because when you start your day with purpose, you are no longer wandering. You are walking with direction, and that direction becomes your power. And slowly, without any dramatic change, without any loud transformation, your life begins to shift. Because you are no longer reacting to life as it happens. You are responding to it with awareness. You are choosing your thoughts before they choose you. You are leading your day before it leads you. And that quiet decision, repeated every morning, becomes the foundation of a life that feels intentional, grounded, and truly yours. Define your top 3 priorities, not 30 tasks. There is a strange comfort in being busy, in filling your day with endless tasks, in constantly moving from one thing to another, because it creates the illusion of progress. It makes you feel productive. It convinces you that you are doing enough. But deep inside, there is a quiet exhaustion, a feeling that despite all the effort, nothing truly meaningful is moving forward. And that is because being busy is not the same as being effective. A person who leads their life understands that not everything deserves equal attention, that some things matter more than others, that impact is not created by doing everything, but by doing the right things with full presence. And that is why defining your top 3 priorities is not about limitation. It is about clarity. It is about choosing what truly deserves your time, your focus, your energy, and letting go of the rest without guilt. It takes courage to choose less because your mind will tell you that you are falling behind, that you are not doing enough, that you need to keep adding more to your list. But real growth does not come from overwhelming yourself. It comes from committing deeply to what matters most, from giving your best energy to a few meaningful actions instead of scattering it across 100 distractions. And when you begin to live this way, something powerful happens. Your days start to feel lighter, your work starts to feel purposeful, your progress becomes visible. And instead of ending your day feeling drained and unfulfilled, you begin to feel aligned. because you are no longer chasing everything. You are building something, one focused decision at a time. Schedule your time like it matters, because it does. Time has a quiet way of slipping through your hands when you don't hold it with intention. It does not announce when it is leaving. It does not ask for your permission. It simply moves. And if you are not careful, it takes your dreams, your plans, your potential along with it, leaving behind a feeling of regret that is often too heavy to carry and too late to change. Those who truly understand the value of life understand the value of time, because time is not just hours and minutes. It is your energy, your attention, your existence in motion. And when you treat it casually, when you leave it unplanned, when you assume you will figure it out later, you are unknowingly giving it away to distractions, to interruptions, to things that were never meant to shape your life. But when you begin to assign purpose to your time, when you decide in advance where your hours will go, when you create space for deep work, for rest, for growth, you're no longer drifting, you are directing. You are telling your time where it belongs instead of wondering where it went. And that simple shift turns your day from something that happens to you into something you actively create. And the beauty of this practice is not in perfection. It is not about controlling every second. It is about awareness, about making conscious choices, about respecting your own life enough to plan it. Because when you start treating your time like it truly matters, your life begins to reflect that same level of value, that same level of intention, that same level of respect. Build discipline over motivation. There will be days when you feel unstoppable, when everything flows, when motivation carries you forward effortlessly. And in those moments, it is easy to believe that this is what success looks like, that this is the secret, that as long as you feel inspired, you will keep moving forward. But life does not work that way, because motivation is temporary, it is unpredictable. It is not something you can rely on every single day. There will also be days when you feel nothing, when the energy is gone, when the excitement disappears, when even the smallest task feels heavy. And this is where most people stop. This is where dreams begin to fade, not because they were impossible, but because they were dependent on a feeling that was never meant to be permanent. Discipline, however, is different. Discipline does not ask you how you feel. It does not wait for the perfect moment. It does not depend on your mood. It simply asks you to show up, to do what needs to be done, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is boring, even when every part of you wants to walk away. And in that consistency, in that quiet persistence, something powerful is built. Because when you rely on discipline, you are no longer controlled by your emotions. You are guided by your decisions. You are no longer waiting to feel ready. You are choosing to act anyway. And over time, that choice becomes your strength, your identity, your foundation, allowing you to move forward, not just when it is easy, but especially when it is hard. Reflect, reset, and improve every day. At the end of each day, there is a moment that most people ignore, a moment that holds more power than they realize, a moment where you can either close your eyes and repeat the same patterns tomorrow, or pause, reflect, and begin to evolve. And the difference between staying the same and growing lies in what you choose to do in that quiet space. Reflection is not about judging yourself. It is not about focusing on what went wrong and carrying that weight into the next day. It is about understanding, about becoming aware of your actions, your decisions, your patterns. Because without awareness, there is no change. And without change, there is no growth. When you ask yourself simple but honest questions, when you look at your day with curiosity instead of criticism, you begin to see things differently. You begin to notice what works, what doesn't, where you lose focus, where you waste time, where you could have shown up better. And that awareness becomes your guide, your teacher, your silent mentor. And as you carry that awareness into the next day, as you make small adjustments, as you choose to do things a little differently, a little better, you begin to transform. Not overnight, not in a dramatic way,